Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lucy Superfox Show. My name is Lucy Superfox. This is my podcast. So, the year of the horse is almost here. Can you even believe it? I bet so many of you are like, yes, I'm ready. The year of the snake and this fucking shedding can fucking do one. So, if you are there, I am with you. I found January the slowest, longest, most drawn out, boring month literally ever. And I know it's because I had more work to do. I found myself for the first time in probably a year with my psychotherapist and root cause therapist processing things that I really thought I was done with because it was time for them to resurface. So if you have been feeling like you've been deep in the shed, but you are ready to leave those skins behind and move into the year of the horse with momentum, then this podcast episode is going to be a game changer for you. So without further ado, let's dive in. So what does it mean to move into a new year with a new identity and massive momentum? Now, I'm not here to talk about the cosmic energies or the cosmic strategies. I will leave that to my gorgeous spiritualist friends. But what I do want to talk about is how we integrate this amazing, beautiful, energetic opportunity with what we do inside our mind, inside our body, and inside our action that we take in our businesses and daily lives. So if right now you are moving into this new year and you currently feel like you're exactly the same person, creating exactly the same results and ending up in exactly the same place, then what I want you to know first up is that until you change who you are at the root, who you are at the depths of who you are inside your nervous system and inside your programming, that is why things haven't been changing yet. And I think that's actually quite relieving for some of you because I think that a lot of people try really hard. They put in a lot of effort. They really and I'm going to say it again, they really try. But the truth is, when we try to use action as an energy of manipulation, we're going to action our way to the next level. We're going to think our way positive. What we end up doing is actually trying to bypass how we really feel and who we really are. And when we use bypassing and manipulation as the energies to create something, it's never going to last and we're never going to be able to sustain it because it doesn't feel familiar and it doesn't feel safe to our nervous system. And that is why we keep ending up in the same spot. So the first step to massively running with this energy of momentum in the year of the horse is to get really fucking clear about who you are right now. Everybody's ready to jump into the next level version of themselves. Everybody's ready to create this whole new imaginary life. Everyone's ready to have a fucking vision board. No doubt you've already got one, right? But the truth is, you don't actually know who you are right now. It's going to be very difficult to make marginal gains, let alone a quantum leap. So getting really clear who you are right now, and these are the kind of questions I would be asking myself, right? What kind of money am I available to receive right now? And the proof of that is in your bank balance, right? The proof of that is in how much money, energetically over the last 6 months you've received on average. And it doesn't have to be a month. It could be a year, whatever your vibe is, or a week if you pay yourself weekly, right? What kind of money am I energetically available to receive? In what ways have I been receiving it? Because that will show you what your path of least resistance is. What ways do I love to receive money? And that gives you an idea of what brings you joy, what lights you up, and maybe what you need to be focusing on. The next question is, who am I when it comes to my relationships? Do they make me happy? Am I fulfilled? What do they bring out of me? The best of me, the worst of me? Who am I when it comes to my body? Do I nourish myself? Do I take care of myself? Or am I punishing myself? Am I making things harder than they need to be? Is this about suffering and sacrifice and struggle? Who am I when it comes to my lifestyle? Do I go out? Do I have a life? Do I have fun? Is fun even important to me? Do I do stuff that interests me? Or am I living in a hamster wheel on repeat? You can ask questions about every single area of your life that matters to you, but the most important step is that you ultimately get clear on who you actually are. And it's not because I'm not positive and it's not because I don't want to help you shift. I'm a freaking life coach and root cause therapist. It's because until we get really honest about where we really are, we're just escaping, we're just jumping, we're just bypassing, we're daydreaming. And often the gap between the nervous system we currently have and the version of us that we want to be is so big that we will probably never get there. But the first step to moving, to going from A to B, to going from Cornwall to Edinburgh, right? If that's the difference between your nervous system and the goal, is you have to get really honest and clear that you're actually in Cornwall. You can't be like, yes, I'm going to Edinburgh. I've no idea where I am, but I'm going to Edinburgh. You have to know I'm in Cornwall. I'm at the other fucking end of the country. Okay, great. Now I know that. Thanks so much. Right? And if you're in America, you're like, where the fuck's Cornwall? So it's at the bottom of the country and Edinburgh's right at the top. So you've got to get really clear where you actually are, because from that place, that's your springboard, that's your jumping board, that's your next step. That's the fucking thing that's going to get you going. But until you get really honest, Until you get really truthful, anything you do is about bypassing, running, escaping, and avoiding. And when we do anything from those energies, one, we don't live in a no universe. I say this all the time. We live in a yes universe. When we push against something, we're actually giving it energy. We're giving it airtime. We're giving it like breath. You're going to create more of the thing that you're avoiding. But two, anything that you do create will be created conditionally because you haven't become the person who has the thing by avoiding and escaping who you currently are. The awareness of who we actually are right now is one of the most freeing, liberating, and powerful things you could for yourself. I say this all the time. One of the first biggest steps to healing, whether it's healing trauma, healing shame, releasing fears, is feeling seen. You can do that for yourself by doing this exercise. By getting really clear on who you are right now, you allow yourself to feel seen. And that might be at your worst. You might be at a point right now where you're like, Luce, it cannot get any fucking worse than this. And I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that this exercise will still be super supportive for you. And maybe you need to do it with some support, with a therapist, with a life coach, with the right support around you if this feels like it's going to bring up too much for you. But this first step to getting really clear on where you actually are is your springboard for creating the next thing. So that's the first step. We have to get really, really clear on where we actually are if we want to build momentum. Step number 2 is looking at what would be the next step in each of those areas of life. Like, we're also quick to go from 0 to 100. I want to go from earning no money from my business to earning 10K months. I can tell you right now, like, I run a program each year called the 6 Week Shift. It's a 6-week accelerator program for women who are, already running businesses, doing 2 to 5K, who want to scale to 10K. And I run it every year in September, October. And I can tell you that even those women sometimes are not ready to scale to 10K, and they have been earning 2 to 5K in their business for years. And it's not because you're the same as them. It's not because the opportunity is not there, but simply because the nervous system jump plus all the practical things, especially in the UK, basically when you cross 8.5K a month, you're effectively VAT registered when you cross kind of that threshold of 90K a year. And then lots of other things happen in your business that change the structure, the format, your pricing, the way you earn money, the way you receive money, the way you put money to one side. And so everybody talks about wanting to make that 0 to 10K jump, but no one recognizes there are shifts and patterns and changes that happen along the way. So I can guarantee you that you're not actually ready to go from 0 to 100. Your nervous system absolutely isn't, or you'd already be there. So instead, what's the next step? So let's say right now you're earning no money from your business, and I like easy maths. You want to earn £1,000 a month. What would that look like? What would that feel like? What would that be like? Right? And recognizing what that would be like and building maybe a mini vision board for what that would be like, if vision boards are your thing. Maybe it's a feeling or a sensation of what that would look like. Maybe, like, I love a lifestyle board. I'm more of a lifestyle board kind of girl than a vision board. Mine doesn't have yachts and fucking palaces, and I don't have any interest in any of those things. Like, I have a lifestyle board of the kind of clothes I want to wear, the kind of vacation homes I want to go on, like where I want to stay, like Airbnbs or hotels. And then I have things in my life that really matter to me that I want to sustain and keep. I have a lifestyle board, right? And what's beautiful about that lifestyle board is it upgrades slightly as my income does, or so as my lifestyle does, but ultimately it's a next step. It doesn't send my nervous system to a spiral every time I look at it. So what would the next step be? Because if you've gone from 0 to 100 and your vision board is 100 right now, every time your nervous system looks at it, it doesn't think, right, let's find ways to get there. It thinks, shit. Thinks, oh my God, how is that going to happen? And when that happens, when we get into rumination and how and questioning and going round and round, we actually put our nervous system into a state of fight or flight. And the energy we want to be creating from is the energy of grounded, safe presence connection. So when you see your vision board and it triggers the shit out of you, whether it triggers you into hustle or manipulation or running in the opposite direction, doesn't matter. It's not creating your future vision as safe. It's not making that future version of your life feel safe and normal and familiar. And that is the magic of manifestation. Feeling like it's already done. Feeling like you are the person who has the thing. Feeling like it's the most normal fucking thing in the world. So if you're looking at your vision board life, or the life you're trying to create in 2026, and it's making your nervous system go how, why, what, where, when, and it's not feeling like, oh, no big deal, that's where the gap is. So this is why I'm saying sometimes I tell my clients to shrink their dream a bit. And I know you're thinking that's the opposite advice a mindset coach would give. But the truth is we have to make it feel safe to your nervous system for you to actually even move towards it in any way. So when we scale something back, what we actually do is create more room, we create more capacity, we create more creativity. Because if we don't trigger your nervous system into panic mode, into fight and flight, into, oh my God, how's that going to happen? And we keep you in this grounded, connected presence, that next step is more likely to happen. So what does that next step look like with your body? What does that next step look like with your business? What does that look like with money? What does that look like in a relationship? Does it look like being single as fuck right now and actually going on a date once a week rather than being married with 3 kids, or or being married and going on honeymoon. Like, what is the next step? When we focus on next steps, what we're actually doing is using a concept called marginal gains. And marginal gains is where we make increments or make incremental gains towards the goal, towards the thing, like losing £1 a week, saving £1,000 a month. Like, it's an incremental gain. And sometimes that feels safer to our nervous system. And actually, some of the best manifestations are the ones that were built on incremental gains or marginal gains. But what happens, and there'll be a lot of narratives right now about quantum leaps and the ability to quantum leap and your ability to quantum leap into a new life. And the truth is that comes from a radical, massive shift in the nervous system. So one, that can happen through healing deep trauma, unprocessed emotions, unfelt experiences, which is the magic of what I do inside my one-to-one, right? Is help you do that through root cause therapy and polyvagal therapy. Is get to the root and shift those things so there's room to expand, there's room to grow. But more importantly, so that those things, once they're no longer there, your nervous system can drop back into regulation and has more capacity and a greater sense of safety to receive new things, right? So a quantum leap can only happen through a massive transformation. And massive transformations do not start in the mind, they do not start in the action, they start in how we feel and the energy in the body. So if this is the year you're going to quantum leap, this is also the year you're probably going to have to go deep. Oh, and it rhymed. Love that. I'm here for the rhyming. Okay. And step number 3 to really shifting is changing who the fuck you think you are. Because right now you have an idea of who you are in your head, and you probably have an idea of who other people think you are. So you're probably telling a story of who they think you are. You're probably telling a story of who you think you are, and they probably don't match. And on top of that, you're probably telling a story about who you think you need to be in order to have the things that you want. And so then what we've got 3 versions of you, and none of them are necessarily the version of you that's going to be able to receive the house, the money, the body, the business, and the relationship. So the first step, when we've got really fucking clear on who we are, right? 2, we've identified the marginal gains. We've then looked at maybe where there are some deep work to be done to open us up to quantum leaps, is redefining our fucking identity. Is redefining who we think we are, and not based on people on the internet. Please do not make them role models. Like, for me, I'm not a fucking guru, right? I am just a person who has done the things, who is passionate about the things she's passionate about, and who says it and puts it out on the internet. And I really love helping people get to do the deep work and ultimately shift and create fucking magic, because it feels like fucking magic, right? But don't make anyone else a role model, right? That you don't fucking know. However, if you happen to actually know someone, like let's say you're one of my clients, or you have a coach, or you work with someone, or that you have a friend and they have something that you really, really want and desire, the way they speak about it, feel about it, think about it, and are about it, that's the energy we're moving towards, right? That's part of the energy of the identity shift. Because what happens is we look at things like social media and we say, right, I need to be a person who has a Louis Vuitton handbag. I need to be a person who wears these things. I need to be a person who has a 17-step skincare routine if I'm going to be wealthy. And we make up all these bullshit stories about who we think we need to be. The truth is, you just need to be a wealthy version of exactly who you are. You need to be a healthy version of exactly who you are. You need to be a happy version of exactly who you are. You need to be a loving version of who you are. So what are all the reasons you're not that version of you now? What are all the reasons you're not that version of you now? And that is where it'll open you up again. Okay, there's deep work to be done here. Okay, I need some root cause therapy loose. There's some shifting to be done here, right? Because the story you are telling about who you are, your identity, what you believe is possible for you, is a story that lives in your body, not just in your mind. And when you're telling a story based on what you think people think of you, or how they see you, or keeping up appearances, you have a different identity with your family, you have a different identity with your friends, you have a different identity than how you show up online. That disconnect and dissonance, and that's often sometimes referred to as fragmentation, that fragmentation is stopping you having this concrete, whole, and beautiful aligned energy. And it's called integration, one, but it's also called embodiment. Embodying all the lessons, all the wisdom, all the energy, all the insight, all the desires, and moving towards the thing like it's fucking inevitable. That's the power of identity shifting work when we get to the root and do it deep. And this is why the Becoming program is open for enrollment right now in February. It's open for this exact reason. It's open till the 28th of February. I open it every single year around Valentine's Day, self-love season, simply because if we are going to love on ourselves to create the magic and the shifts that we are ready for, particularly with the year of the horse, particularly because momentum is going to be on our side, then it has got to be because we are actually shifting our identity at those deep levels, doing the inner work so that we can step into and become that next level version of ourselves through healing, through clearing, through restoring, through nourishing, through manifesting the fuck out of it, integrating, aligning, and embodying. and through the brand new 8th module this year, Divine Feminine Leadership, stepping into the life and the leadership that the world fucking needs. So if right now that is like hit a chord, struck something with you, you felt that in your body, you went, ooh, chills, then you can reach out to me, either email me, lucy@lucysuperfox.com, or send me a DM on Instagram with the word becoming, and let's discuss whether the one-to-one or the self-paced version might be a better fit for you. So this is the year of the horse, and you have the chance to create massive and real momentum towards the things that you desire, love, need, and ultimately want. And there is no reason why you can't have those things, but doing this work to get clear on who you actually are, maybe scaling back the first step goal so your nervous system can feel, move, and act towards it, whilst creating those marginal gains and creating space through the deep work to create room for those quantum leaps inside your nervous system and inside manifestation, with a view that if you are ready to really embody that next level self, to come off this edge, to come off this feeling of like waiting and knowing your potential but not moving towards it, then just remember that that becoming course is open for enrollment until the end of February. So I hope you love this episode. As always, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share this with anyone you think it might resonate, and I'll see you on the next one.